knowledge revolution practices, area culture, and studies. And we've had 4 days of talking to each other, having conversations with each other.
1964. And we performed it at the National Theatre when I was in Namibia Junior School. So I don't know what really motivated me, I don't remember. And nothing motivated me, I don't know, perhaps my mother. Bring out the character of a community. What is without character, you cannot have a community. Today in Uganda, we are suffering from a lack of a national character. And it is us, performers, performing artists, to build this character. A good film, a good play, is where you see a character you want your son or your daughter to look like. Now, many of you have seen plays, have seen performances, but how many of them can you take with you, your daughter or your son, and tell them, that's who I want you to look like? That means we are not up to there to really reflect what kind of a character we need to be as Ugandans. Therefore, our role as performing artists is to build and tell people who we are through that character. I will give you an example. I was in the States and a Ugandan misled me. Of course, a Ugandan misled me, not anybody else. And he said that when a policeman stops you and asks you for a driving permit, you give him the driving permit with some $10 or $20 in it. As a Ugandan also, I said, that's okay, that's what we are used to do. So when the policeman stopped us, I got out my permit, which was a Ugandan permit anyway. I couldn't even understand what it was saying. So, but he saw these $20 in the permit. And looked at me and said, look here, this is America. We don't do that. Get out of here, right? Now you see, the American knows that Americans don't do this. This is what we do. Now, tell me something where Ugandan can say, we are Ugandans, we don't do that. Well, we don't have that. We don't have anybody who makes us feel proud to be Ugandans. The only people I would suggest that make us proud to be Ugandans are the Ugandan mothers. The whole world comes here. But if I asked you today that who are we proud of as Ugandans? Who do we confess or profess? Chieftain. You see, today, Gundi Afude, General Eli Tumwine. Now you see a lot of, divergences as to who he was and as to what he did and whatever. But no one stands up to say, this was a man that shall make us proud forever. I don't know what you think. However, when you ask me the role of theater, that's the role of theater, to build stories that bring out characters that we ought to look like in order for us to be proud to be Ugandans. When theater fails to do that, then it is what we have called today comedy. Because amanya abantu bagamba nti omuntu alina olugezigezi kati ne weebuuza ti olugezigezi kyeki naye nga tanakitegeeza nti abasiru bwe baba abangi oli alina amagezi alina okugassaamu amazzi n'ajabulula amagezi ne gafuuka olugezigezi basobole okubona. So, comedy is a dilution of theater. They have diluted it so bad. Not only for that, but also for the instantaneous culture that we are experiencing today. Instantaneous culture. Which is on the mobile phone, which is on the takeaway restaurants, etc., etc. Theater, you cannot have people sit like you for 2 hours or 1 hour without your phone on. By the way, I thank you for that, because I haven't had any phone ringing in this room today. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? But that should be a question to me. So now I'm trying to question you.
You ask and answer.
Okay. I think we need to pull our socks very up in order to be able to reach this community, this society in which we live today, with a lot of young people who expect instantaneous results in whatever they do. And theater, because it has a storyline, you have to sit in the theater and listen for 2 hours, is no longer happening. I don't know if Dr. Mulekwa can kumpakanya, because the theater now is almost dead. But it won't die as long as we know the problems we have. Thank you.
Olwamala ebibawo bikyuka esigiri yali motoka. So things did change. Up to now we're still changing. Okay? But remember in that play, we ended saying, people asked why Museveni was not in the play. And I said that Museveni was still doing his exams. Right? That's why he was not in the play. Today, he's still doing his exams. I don't know, in university called them retakes. He's doing a lot of retakes. So, I don't want to speak about 30 years of banana. Who knows? So let him finish his exams, perhaps in 2016, and you shall know what to write again. I would like to talk about a play I first wrote in 1977, which was called MUKULU, my very first play. It was about a young boy who was rebelling against society. Some of you have read, you must have read a lot of books, I hear you. Albert Camus, The Outsider. So, there is a lot of need today to rebel against what is happening to us today. But our writers, literary people, somehow seem very cowardly. They don't want to really break their necks. But today, I think we need a protest. Because there's so many things happening. Our children are getting weird and wild. Watching Colonel, the temperature of our society today is very high. That to bring something which people will say, ah, yeah, it's very difficult. So, why I don't want to think about, to talk about 30 years of bananas is because it was just, you know, something to make happy do. However, the first one I wrote was not about the happy.
But you had a very serious question there. Because your question was, what did you do for the 30 years? You are asking us as a society as well.
Yes, just like I can ask it now. Yeah, what have we done?
Yeah.
We celebrated, we are going to celebrate now 60 years of our independence.
What have we done?
Not even, yes, that one also is there. However, how do we differentiate growth and development? When you see from our independence day up to today, have we grown or have we developed?
Professor Makumba.
You know, it's very simple to develop. We had a policeman near us in a house, a government house. We happened to be living in Makerere then, and I was studying in Makerere Secondary School. And there was a bathroom in the house, but he never used the bathroom. He put in a marua, with the bath thing. Now, was that growth or development? Because he found the bath. You can easily have roads developed and everything developed while the people have not grown yet. For if you ask today, how many things did we have in 1962 and how many things do we have today? Then, when you answer that, you know whether we have grown or we have just developed. As an artist in theater, I prefer the characteristic of a person growth. I would like the human being to grow. Are we better off in our behaviors as a people? Or we are just better off because we have traffic lights on Kampala Road? You understand? You know? So, we must all rise up to rebel against what is killing us. We need, we people, to grow. Not necessarily development which leaves a people like borders not knowing even which way to go and which way to run or whatever. I wish we would begin with the borders so that they grow up and understand and respect other people and so that they drive better. Right? I think that is the role of theater, drama. That is our calling. Lastly, I want to say that you writers, you professors, I'm not going to tell you my history in Makerere University. It was not very good. But what makes you angry? What makes you angry today? Is there anything that makes you angry? If there's nothing that makes you angry, then you are just existing. What makes you angry is the battle you have, is the struggle you have to fight. That is the war you have to fight. What makes you angry? Darkness, uncleanness, corruption. That which makes you angry is your mission. And that's what you have to get rid of. I am angry, and I have a lot of things to get rid of. I will do it through fear. Thank you. With fear, the regime has been good, very good at
making us afraid. So we fear. We see soldiers, we fear. We see policemen, we fear. We fear everything. Long time ago, we were fearing only 4 people: the priest, the policeman, the teacher, and the doctor. If your mother told you that the doctor is coming, you will feel a lot of worry. Today, we even fear them more. We fear the clergy, we fear the policeman, we fear the doctor, because you know what they do. Okay? So that's your answer, fear. Then there was this lady, what did she say? That, yeah, you know, like the professor told you that it took him 2 weeks to write his paper. It takes a long time to write a play, good, relevant play. Because the play has to be historical, has to be relevant, has to be authentic, has to be gracious. And that aspect of the historic aspect, you must take a long time studying the environment, the situation, the political, social, whatever, economic, whatever, everything. And by the time you come to the conclusion that my play is going to be saying this, sometimes it takes time. 30 years of Bananas was almost my story from when I was young up to when I was 30. A lot of it is true. There's a lot of true aspects in it. So from 30 years of Bananas to today, there's so much that has gone on. But to put it together into one reasonable conclusion, you need a lot of more sleep, reading, doing things like this, until you come out with a... Now, isn't that corruption? And you know, they are taking away our rights. I need to go to jail, but I can't anymore. You know better. What is yours? You know, there is this saying of mine in tea: you can't get lost when you don't know where you are going. Because who will guide you? You don't know where you are going. So you can't say I'm lost. Right? Now, a lot of our young children, youths, boys and girls, don't know where they are going. That may be a fault of their parents, or the fault of the governors of the country in terms of politics, etc., etc. Do you know where you are going? I would like you to know where you are going. Ask yourself that, what can I die for? Do you know what you can die for, or do you have it? If I put a gun in your whatever, you are a writer, or I shoot. You know what? You might deny it. I just want to now, do you know anything you can die for? And you say, I'm studying because I want this. And no matter what, I will die for this. Then you will know where you are going. If you don't have it, you will study for nothing. You will make money for nothing. You will do everything for nothing because you have no purpose. You have no ending. When you're writing plays, normally it's better to begin with the end. And you know where to end than where it begins. Because you can begin it and you lose the end. So Be ready to die for something, and then you will know where you are going, and you will know what you are supposed to study, and you will know what kind of people you are supposed to talk to. Because you don't have to speak to everyone. So you will know your friends, you will know your enemies, and that will give you strength to struggle on. Amen?
Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
And as they say, if you are in a family and you have a writer, then you have a problem. Because this writer is going to spill the beans, it's going to write